Troy has fallen. 10 years of siege, 10 years of war, and now the Greek ships are finally pointing homeward. Odysseus of Ithaca, the cleverest man in the Greek world, leads his fleet away from the burning city. He should be going home, and he will, eventually. But first, something in him has to change. Something that 10 years of war never forged and never could. This is not just the story about a man trying to get home. But is this myth true? That is exactly the right question, and one we will address in this video. It's not true as literal history. Homer's not an archaeologist, and we're not looking for Odysseus' house on a Greek island, even Ithaca. But as a map of something real in every human life, yes. Profoundly yes. The Odyssey charts the journey of the emerging mind, encountering the forces that overwhelm it, the dreams that sedate it, the hard-wrung moments of wisdom that finally begin to light the way. The first 4 adventures set the whole pattern. Let me show you how. First, men fall after Troy on the coast of Thrace. The city is Ismarus, the home of the Cicones, allies of Troy. Odysseus and his men do what they've done for 10 years. They raid. They sack the city. They take what they want. But Odysseus senses danger. He urges his men to leave immediately, take the plunder and sail. They refuse. They feast on the beach, drinking through the night. By dawn, the Cicones have returned in force. They fight. Many men are lost. The fleet barely escapes. So what do the Cicones represent? They are fighters. They represent the forces Odysseus has faced all through the Iliad. But this is an old pattern, one that he must now transcend. If he still follows the old ways of plunder and killing, he'll never return home. He flees with most of his men and sails on. Blown off course, they land among a gentle people who offer them food, the lotus flower. Those who eat it lose all desire to return home. They only want to stay, to feed, to rest, to dream. Odysseus has to drag his own men back to the ships by force. The lotus is not evil. That's what makes it dangerous. The natural world, taken as the only reality, can be lived through in a kind of beautiful dream. Nothing is wrong exactly. It's simply without direction, without purpose, without the will to return. A life without challenge, slept through in sensory ease, is a life that has quietly surrendered its meaning. Odysseus acts. He chooses Ithaca over the lotus, and that act of will, small as it seems, is itself a first step towards real consciousness. And then the cave. The cave of Polyphemus, son of Poseidon, god of the deep sea, where the crew make its worst mistake yet, and where something entirely new appears for the very first time. Polyphemus is enormous. He has one eye set in the center of his forehead. He rolls a boulder across the entrance that 20 men couldn't shift. He eats Odysseus' men for supper, and for breakfast, as though they were nothing at all. This is the one-eyed consciousness, vast, ancient, sealed into a cave of its own making, rooted in Poseidon's great unconscious depths. Destructive not from malice, but from an ancient instinctive clairvoyance, from the sheer incapacity to see clearly and reason fully. And here, for the first time, Odysseus does not reach for a weapon. He thinks. He finds a great stake of olive wood and sharpens it and hardens it in the fire. The olive is Athena's tree, the tree of wisdom. He drives it burning into that one terrible eye. Polyphemus howls, the other Cyclops come. "Who has hurt you?" they call through the dark. "Nobody," Polyphemus screams. "Nobody is hurting me." For cunningly, that is the name Odysseus has given him when the Cyclops asked. This is the first moment in the whole journey where Odysseus uses wisdom rather than force. It is here, in this dark cave with this sharpened branch, that his first real journey home really begins. But once safely on board his ship, Odysseus can't control himself and shouts his real name to the angry giant, who then nearly destroys him and calls on his divine father for retribution. Odysseus escapes, the seas open before him, and briefly fortune smiles. The king of the winds offers him a gift, a leather bag with every adverse wind safely contained inside, allowing him a fair passage home. From the prow of his ship, Odysseus can see the hills of Ithaca shimmering on the horizon. They're nearly there, but 10 more laborious years must pass before he actually sets foot in his homeland. Why? He's not ready, not yet. The thinking's not yet disciplined. The crew is not yet trusted. The ego that shouted his own name across the water as it fled to Cyclops' cave, that ego has a very long way to go. What happens next? The long unravelling, the deeper trials, the final return. That is what the Odyssey is really about. And that's exactly what we explore in a fuller video that's coming soon.